The night everything felt wrong, asterisk, my name is Marcus. And for 3 years I worked the overnight security shift at the Lakeshore Grand Hotel. Asterisk, if you live in the city, you've probably driven past it. Most people assume it's just another aging high-rise with cheap rooms, overpriced minibar items, and a lobby that always smells faintly like lemon disinfectant. Asterisk, but those of us who worked nights, we knew the hotel changed after midnight. Asterisk. The building breathed differently. The halls became too quiet. The cameras glitched at the same spots. And that freezer room in the lower level, the one management told us never to enter, not even for inspections. Something was always moving behind the metal door. Most nights I ignored it. I kept my head down, walked my rounds, and tried not to think about the things I heard in the stairwells. Asterisk, the footsteps that followed without a source. The whispers that seemed to move up the railing like cold wind. The sudden appearance of tall shadows in doorways where no one was standing. Asterisk, but the night she wandered into the hotel, everything became worse. Much worse, even now. Years later, I remember every detail of that shift. Because it was the night the hotel finally showed me exactly what had been hiding inside it. Asterisk, if you're still watching. Trust me, asterisk, make sure you're subscribed. Because the deeper we go, the more this thing starts to sound like me. 1:12 a.m. The coldest hallway in the building. Asterisk. I started my shift like any other. Asterisk at 1:12 a.m. I finished checking cameras and took my first patrol through the west hallway on the 9th floor, the hallway every guard hated. It always felt 10 degrees colder there. Asterisk, like someone left a window open. Except there were no windows. Asterisk, just a long, narrow corridor with door numbers that flickered weakly under old lights. Asterisk. The lights buzzed overhead as I walked. Asterisk. Halfway down the hall, I felt it again, that sensation of someone matching my steps. When I stopped, it stopped. Asterisk. When I walked, it walked. I turned around fast. Nothing. Asterisk. Just the hum of the lights and the faint vibration of the elevator 3 floors below. I exhaled slowly. Not tonight, I muttered. Asterisk. Not dealing with this tonight. But the hotel had other plans. 1:29 a.m. The girl on camera 12 asterisk, back in the security office. I scanned through the feeds. Cameras 1 to 11. Empty. Camera 12, the long lobby hallway asterisk, had someone on screen. A girl alone. Asterisk hoodie. Jeans, hair slightly damp like she'd been outside in the drizzle. Asterisk, she walked unsteadily, stopping every few seconds to look behind her. But the hallway behind her was empty. Except Camera 12 glitched every time she turned around, like something interfered with the footage. I zoomed in. Her lips moved as if she were whispering, asterisk, or answering someone, but there was no one there. I turned up the audio feed, static then, faintly. Like a voice underwater, I heard something behind her. Asterisk, a second set of footsteps, out of sync with hers, and then a whisper. Asterisk. So low, it felt less like a sound and more like something crawling along my spine. Asterisk, don't look back. Then the feed cut out. 1:42 a.m. She shouldn't have been able to get an asterisk before I even left the security room. Something bothered me. The girl didn't come through the entrance. She didn't pass the front desk. There were no open side doors. The hotel was locked at midnight. Nobody got in without a key card or a staff member letting them in. So how did she appear in the hallway? And why was she walking deeper inside the hotel instead of toward the lobby? I pulled up all entry logs. Nothing. Not a single door opened in the last 30 minutes. Then the elevators activated. One moved from the ground floor to the 9th. The hallway I had just walked. Except I knew I hadn't seen her there. Something was wrong. If you're still watching, trust me, make sure you're subscribed. Because the deeper we go, the more this thing starts to sound like me. 1:48 a.m. The elevator opens before I press the button. I reached the lobby elevator and hit the button for the 9th floor. Before I pressed it, the doors slid open by themselves. Dark, empty, but freezing cold air spilled out. I stepped inside, as the doors shut. I heard a faint tapping on the elevator roof. Slow, deliberate, like someone crawling above me. Following the rise of the elevator, I pressed 9. The elevator jerked upward violently, like it was resisting the movement. Then the lights flickered. For 1 second. The security panel showed a reflection behind me. Tall, shadowed, leaning forward, as if to whisper directly into my ear. When the lights came back. The reflection was gone, but the whisper remained. She's not alone. 2:03 a.m. She enters the staff-only corridor when I reached the 9th floor. The hallway felt colder than ever before. Frost clung to the metal room numbers. My breath fogged in front of me. Then I saw her footprints on the carpet. Wet, small, leading toward the staff-only corridor the one that should have been locked. My chest tightened. How did she get in there? The door was open, just a crack. A drip of water fell from its metal edge and landed on the floor. It didn't sound like water hitting carpet. It sounded like water hitting metal. Like the hallway behind the door. Wasn't really a hallway. I pushed the door wider. The air that came from inside smelled like freezer burn and something sweet like old fruit left too long in cold storage. Miss. My voice echoed strangely, like the space beyond the door was bigger than the hotel allowed. Are you all right? You can't be back here. Something moved in the darkness. Not quickly, not human-like. More like something stretching out of sight. Then the girl's voice, he's following me. Before I could respond, the lights cut out. The lights blinked out so fast it felt like someone had slapped darkness over my eyes. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. The air turned sharp, freezing, biting into my throat like winter wind. I reached instinctively for my flashlight. My fingers shook so badly I dropped it. It clattered across the floor, rolling away straight into the open staff corridor. The last thing I saw before it disappeared was the faint glow of the girl's wet footprints, leading deeper into the dark. And then, a second set of footprints appeared beside hers, much larger, much heavier. Materializing in the carpet like invisible feet pressing down step by step. She wasn't alone. If you're still watching, trust me, make sure you're subscribed. Because the deeper we go, the more this thing starts to sound like me. 2:04 a.m. The whisper that shouldn't exist. Sound drifted out of the darkness. A whisper so thin, it felt like air was being dragged over my ear. Asterisk, don't leave her. I froze. It didn't sound like a warning. It sounded like an order. I forced myself toward the dropped flashlight, every step crunching faintly as frost formed under my shoes. Asterisk when I picked it up. My fingers stung from the cold. I clicked it on. The beam fought through the darkness like it was pushing against something heavy. Asterisk. And when it finally broke through, I saw movement, not the girl. Asterisk. Something taller behind her. Asterisk. A shape leaning forward, too close to her ear. Asterisk. As if it wasn't whispering to her, but tasting her fear. She turned, looked right past it, like she couldn't see it at all. But the thing, slowly, turned its head toward me. I staggered back and slammed the door shut. 2:09 a.m. The security room knows more than me. I wasn't proud of what I did next. I ran, asterisk full speed down the hall, into the elevator, and back to the security room. I needed eyes on the cameras. I needed proof of what I saw. Asterisk, when the monitors flickered on, all feeds glitched, except one. Camera 17, staff corridor back route. The girl walked toward the lower level stairs, arms wrapped around herself, whispering as if answering someone who wasn't there. Asterisk behind her. Glitching in and out, like bad footage, was the tall shadow. Asterisk, that's when the night manager, Harold, walked into the room. Asterisk, startled to see me sweating, shaking, staring at the screen like I'd seen death. Asterisk, Marcus, he said sharply. Asterisk, why are you watching the back corridor? There's a girl inside, I said, pointing at the monitor. She's not alone. Something's with her. We need. Harold slammed the monitor off so hard, the plastic casing cracked. Stop. Don't look at that. Don't look at ANY of those feeds. I blinked at him. What are you talking about? Someone is following her. His face drained of color. He rubbed his forehead like this was the last thing he wanted to deal with. Asterisk, Marcus. You weren't supposed to see that footage. My heart dropped. Supposed to, I repeated. Asterisk, what the hell is happening in this hotel? He leaned in closer, lowering his voice until it was barely a whisper. You need to forget that girl. You need to forget what you think you saw. That's when I noticed something. Harold's hands were shaking. Asterisk, he wasn't scared of me. He was scared of the footage. If you're still watching, trust me. Asterisk, make sure you're subscribed. Because the deeper we go, the more this thing starts to sound like me. 2:14 a.m. The silent alarm. Before I could ask anything else, an alarm began blinking on the main console, but not sounding. A silent signal used only for emergencies management didn't want recorded. The location, lower storage level B. Freezer access hallway, asterisk. My stomach twisted. That hallway was directly beneath the staff corridor. She went down there, I whispered. Harold's reaction was instant pure panic. Don't go down there, he snapped. Asterisk, stay in this room. Do not leave this floor. Someone could be in danger, I shot back. He shook his head furiously. Asterisk, you don't understand. That place, it's not meant for guests or staff. Not anymore. I stepped toward the door. Harold grabbed my arm. His voice trembled. Listen to me, Marcus. Whatever you saw following her, that thing doesn't stay down there. It attaches. I pulled my arm free. Then we need to get her out before it does. Harold didn't follow. He looked at me with hollow eyes, like he was watching someone walk into their own grave. Asterisk. God help you, he muttered. 2:18 a.m. The descent begins. The stairwell to the lower level felt wrong the moment I opened it. Asterisk. Warm air rose from below. Asterisk. Humid, heavy, and carrying a faint smell of metal and chemical cleaner. Asterisk. Every hotel stairwell sounds the same. Echoes, shuffling, door thuds. But this one had no echo at all. My footsteps landed without a sound. At the halfway point, the overhead light flickered. A face appeared at the edge of the beam. The girl, staring up at me. But she wasn't moving, just standing perfectly still. Asterisk, miss. I called down, trying to keep my voice steady. You need to come upstairs. This area isn't safe. She didn't respond, didn't even blink. Then from behind her asterisk, a tall shadow slid across the wall, leaning over her, growing longer. As though stretching toward me, her lips parted slightly. He's right behind you, she whispered. A breath hit the back of my neck, cold, wet, slow. I spun around, nothing. When I turned back, the girl was gone. Asterisk, only the echo of her whisper remained, drifting down the stairwell like smoke. Asterisk, if you're still here, you might want to leave a light on. Make sure you're subscribed, because once you go down those stairs, you don't come back the same. Asterisk, the air grew warmer, the deeper I descended. And by the time I reached the lower level door, the heat felt unnatural, like walking into someone's breath. Asterisk, this wasn't the cold, industrial basement temperature I remembered. It felt alive down here. The metal door creaked when I pushed it open, the sound echoing down the pitch-black hallway like a scream stuck inside a pipe. Asterisk, I aimed my flashlight beam forward. The floor was wet, not with water, with condensation so thick it pooled and trickled down the drains. Asterisk, and there, in the center of the hallway, were the girl's footprints, small, barefoot, asterisk, trailing deeper into the hotel's most restricted area. But next to them was something worse, a second trail, not footprints, drag marks, long and erratic, as if something had been crawling alongside her. Something with weight, something that didn't walk. Asterisk. 2:23 a.m. A voice that isn't hers, asterisk, followed the footprints until they vanished at a T-shaped split in the hallway. Asterisk. To the left, an old laundry chute. To the right, the freezer rooms. The freezer lights flickered. Asterisk. Something brushed past the tiny window, a blur, quick and fluid. The height of a grown man. I tightened my grip on the flashlight. Called out, asterisk, miss. Can you hear me? A voice answered instantly. Yes, her voice soft, shaky, but it didn't come from ahead. It came from behind. I whipped around, heart almost exploding. The hallway was empty. Where are you? I whispered. Asterisk, right here. The voice came again, but this time it sounded like her. Then not like her. Like someone was speaking through her, mimicking, asterisk, practicing, learning. I took a step back. Asterisk, that's when the freezer room door slowly eased open. A gust of bitter cold spilling out like fog. And I heard her real voice from inside. Please, help me. The mimicry stopped instantly. Whatever was imitating her was now aware it had slipped. Asterisk, Anne, if you're still watching, trust me. Asterisk, make sure you're subscribed. Because the deeper we go, the more this thing starts to sound like me. It didn't like that. Asterisk, 2:29 a.m. Inside the freezer room, the temperature dropped violently as I stepped inside. My breath crystallized in front of me. Asterisk. The walls were covered in faint scratch marks. Asterisk long, frantic. Shallow gouges like fingernails dragging over metal. My flashlight flickered. A dark shape darted across the back corner. Asterisk, miss. My voice cracked. Asterisk, come toward my light. Slowly, something shifted behind a row of metal storage racks. Then she emerged. The girl from the cameras. Asterisk. Shaking violently, eyes wide with terror. Skin pale blue from the cold. Asterisk, she crouched behind a rack. Hugging herself, he said he wouldn't stop. She whispered, he keeps following me. I don't want to see him anymore. I knelt down. You're safe now, I told her. I'm going to take you. No, you're not. Asterisk, her voice changed mid-sentence. Not hers. Not human. Something spoke with her mouth. The girl jerked suddenly, like a puppet pulled by an invisible string. Her eyes rolled upward. Her limbs tightened. Asterisk, and then a tall, shadow-like shape peeled itself off the metal wall. Asterisk, like darkness unhooking itself from reality. It towered behind her, thin, distorted, hollow at the center. Like a human outline emptied of a person. And then its head turned toward me. 2:31 a.m. The hotel's secret history. Asterisk, the girl collapsed, unconscious. The entity didn't move from its spot. It simply watched me, or more accurately, it waited. My flashlight flickered and died completely. Pitch black swallowed everything. I grabbed the emergency light on the wall. One of those battery-powered lanterns used for outages. Asterisk, the moment the dim red emergency glow filled the freezer room, something on the wall behind the creature became visible. Old security camera footage. Frozen images playing silently on a glitching loop across a set of display screens I'd never noticed before. They weren't new screens. They were ancient, dusty, cracked. Footage from years, maybe decades, ago flickered across them. Different people. Asterisk. Different nights. All walking the same corridor. All turning the same corner. All followed by the same tall shadow trailing behind them like a stain. Some ran, some crawled. Asterisk. Some disappeared at the freezer door. None came back out. My blood ran cold. This wasn't new. This wasn't an isolated event. Asterisk. This had been happening for years, maybe longer. The hotel didn't have a haunting. It had a pattern. If you're still watching, trust me. Asterisk, make sure you're subscribed. Because the deeper we go, the more this thing starts to sound like me. 2:37 a.m. The entity follows me. I grabbed the girl, lifting her over my shoulder. Asterisk, she was freezing cold. Ice spreading across her sleeves. The shadow figure didn't block me, didn't attack. It simply followed as I backed out of the freezer room step by step. Every time I blinked, it was closer, blink right behind us. Its presence felt heavy, like pressure in my skull. Asterisk, like it was pushing into my thoughts, trying to understand how I moved, how I breathed, how I sounded. As I pulled the girl into the hallway, she suddenly jolted awake, eyes wide and aware. She stared over my shoulder and whispered, asterisk, it likes you. I froze. The hallway lights shut off one by one, coming toward us like closing jaws. Then, in total darkness, I heard my own voice whisper into my ear, don't run. You'll only make it worse. It wasn't me. It was mimicking me now, learning my voice, my tone, asterisk, my breath, and it was getting better at it. If you're still watching, trust me, asterisk, make sure you're subscribed. Because the deeper we go, the more this thing starts to sound like me. Dragging the girl up the lower level stairwell felt like climbing through wet concrete. Every step was heavier than the last. Like something below was pulling against us asterisk, trying to keep her. Trying to keep me. Halfway up, she stirred again, mumbling through chattering teeth. Don't let it touch you. Don't let it copy you. Her voice cracked into a whimper. She reached up suddenly and grabbed my collar, pulling me eye level with her. It doesn't follow people, she whispered. It chooses them. Asterisk, before I could ask what she meant, all the stairwell lights snapped on at once. Not warm, not yellow, but stark white. Buzzing so loud the metal railing vibrated. The girl went completely still in my arms. Every hair on my neck rose, asterisk. The lights weren't coming from the power grid. They were being triggered manually. 2:41 a.m. The hotel staff appears asterisk when I reached the third floor landing. The door swung open before I touched it. Asterisk 3 hotel staff members stood waiting, not panicked, not confused, prepared. The night manager Harold was with them, breathing hard, sweat shining on his forehead despite the cold. Give her to us, he said softly. Now, I stepped back. What's happening in this place? What is that thing? Harold raised both hands in a calming gesture, but his eyes betrayed his fear. Asterisk, you were never supposed to follow her, he said. Asterisk, you were only supposed to monitor the floor. That was your job. My job isn't to watch someone die, I shot back. One of the staff members, a tall woman with a flashlight clipped to her vest, shook her head slowly. She's not dying, she whispered. She's transitioning. The girl in my arms jolted awake, eyes wide with pure terror. No, don't let them take me back. Her scream echoed through the stairwell. I staggered backward as the staff closed in. Asterisk Marcus, Harold said, his voice breaking. It attaches to whoever gets closest. You brought it up from the lower level. It's not following her anymore. My blood turned to ice. It's following you. 2:44 a.m. The cameras turned themselves on asterisk before the staff could reach us. Every wall-mounted camera surrounding the stairwell flickered to life, asterisk. Dozens of tiny red recording lights, asterisk, and on every screen, I saw myself, not the version standing in the stairwell, a second me, asterisk. On every feed, walking behind the girl, walking behind the staff, walking behind me, moving just a fraction of a second too late. Every reflection lagged. Every gesture was wronged by barely an inch. The entity was copying me, frame by frame, asterisk. Movement by movement, Becoming me. The girl whispered into my chest, asterisk. That's how it survives. 2:46 a.m. The hotel's real purpose. Harold looked from me to the girl, then to the cameras, where my shadowed imitation stared back. He exhaled, shakily. Asterisk, we don't run a hotel. He said quietly, asterisk, not at night. Not anymore. Asterisk, what are you talking about? I demanded. He pointed at the cameras, at the figure, learning my footsteps. People think this place is haunted. They're wrong. He wiped sweat from his brow. Asterisk, it's feeding. One of the staff members stepped forward with a metal canister, like a fire extinguisher, but marked with a symbol I didn't recognize. A cipher. A tall vertical line with 2 branching curves. I'd seen that symbol before. On the freezer room door, Harold continued. Whatever built itself inside this hotel, it reflects the people it consumes. Copies them, asterisk, and once the copy is perfect, it replaces the original. I felt the girl tighten her grip around my neck. That's what happened to my friend. She whispered, asterisk, they said. She walked out of here alive. But it wasn't her anymore. I swallowed hard. And what happens to the original? Harold didn't answer. His silence was enough. Asterisk 2:49 a.m. My copy speaks. The cameras glitched again. The figure behind me stepped into clearer view. My height, my build, my stance. Only the face was missing. Still a hollow, swirling dark pit, where my features should be. And then for the first time, it opened its mouth. A low, dragging whisper filled the stairwell. Asterisk almost perfect. The girl screamed. The staff froze. Harold dropped the canister. The entity stepped closer on every screen. Asterisk, and then asterisk, my own voice came out of its mouth. Asterisk, Marcus. Let her go. I felt something cold brush the back of my neck. Not air, asterisk. Not a hand. Something that felt like a shadow, trying on my shape. 2:51 a.m. The something behind me. The girl yanked my face toward hers. Run, she whispered, asterisk. It can only copy one of us at a time. Behind me, I felt movement, slow, deliberate, like something rising from the floor. Harold shouted, "Don't let it touch your face." I bolted up the final set of stairs, the girls still clinging to me. The staff tried to follow, but the lights above them exploded, asterisk, glass raining down. The creature had cut them off. Every camera feed switched to my location. My angle, my skin, my breath. It was learning me in real time. Every step I took up the stairwell, I saw the imitation take the same step on the feeds, with less delay each time. Blink. It was a full step closer. Blink, half a step, blink. No delay at all, asterisk. It was mirroring me perfectly. Asterisk, the only difference left was that I was still alive. Asterisk 2:54 a.m. The loop begins. I reached the lobby, empty, silent, except for the enormous wall of security screens behind the front desk. Every screen showed me, but not the me in the lobby. The other me, the copy, breathing, tilting its head, asterisk, smiling without a face, asterisk, and then one of the screens, the center one, changed to a live feed of the lobby. I saw myself standing there, but behind me, a tall, dark shape leaned slowly forward, its head inches from my ear. The girl whispered, "It already chose you." Asterisk, if you think this can't get worse. Make sure you're subscribed. The night that followed me home, asterisk, I didn't sleep that night. I didn't even try. Asterisk, every time I closed my eyes, I saw the hallway, the freezer door, and that shadow behind Canuck. Not a person. Not something human. Something that moved like it belonged in the dark. By morning, I made a decision. I quit the hotel, but the hotel didn't quit me. The next night to 14 a.m., I was home, finally relaxed, finally starting to forget. When my phone vibrated twice on the nightstand, no caller ID. Just like the calls from the hotel's security line. I let it ring. It stopped. Asterisk. Then the voicemail icon flashed. My hands shook as I played it. At first, I heard nothing, just cold static. Then, I recognized the sound. Asterisk A. Faint metal scraping. The same sound the freezer door made when it opened. Then a voice, asterisk A. Girl's voice, whispering. GIRL whisper. Distorted asterisk, why didn't you help me? I froze. My chest tightened. I tried to speak, but nothing came out. The voice changed. Lower, heavier, asterisk. Exactly like the thing I heard in the footage. Unknown growling whisper. You saw me. My phone fell out of my hand. I didn't pick it back up. The final visit, 3 days passed. I didn't go outside. I didn't answer the phone. I didn't talk to anyone. Asterisk, but on the 4th night, someone knocked at my door. Not the door to the outside. The door inside my apartment. The one to the hallway. Slow, heavy. 3 knocks. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. Then my phone lit up on the floor, a notification. The security camera at my front door. Motion detected. Asterisk, I tapped the screen. And my blood ran cold. The hallway outside my apartment was empty. Except for one thing. A room service cart. The same kind we used at the hotel asterisk. The same kind I saw Kanoka pass in the footage. But that wasn't the part that terrified me. What terrified me was the freezer door sitting on top of the cart. Bent, dented, covered in frost. It wasn't from my hotel, asterisk. It was the freezer door. From the footage, something had brought it here. Something wanted me to see it. The moment that broke Emmy asterisk. As I stared at the camera feed, the freezer door slowly opened. No one touching it. No wind, no trick. Just creaking open, inch by inch, until something inside it moved. Not a hand. Not a face. Just a shape. Black, slithering. Growing. Reaching toward my door. I didn't wait. Asterisk, I grabbed my keys, climbed out my window, and ran. I never went back. The aftermath asterisk, I changed my number. I moved across the city. I never worked a night shift again. Asterisk, but some nights, when everything gets quiet, I still hear that scraping sound, like a freezer door opening, and I know whatever was in that hallway with Kanuka. It's still looking for me. And now, you've seen it too. Asterisk, if this story kept you up tonight. Imagine what's coming next. Whisper sound cue. Make sure you hit subscribe. So you're here for the next true horror story asterisk, the one they tried to erase. And the one you won't forget after hearing it, asterisk. Red subscribe button flashes on screen. Low rumble, cold wind, SFX. Because in this channel, the dark never sleeps. Asterisk.